uh, don't be intimidated to reach out to somebody who's a licensed, which I'm not, who is a licensed financial advisor. My disclaimer there,
I feel like
and have that conversation. Like the last two are simple. The second to last one will be real estate. Obviously, there's going to be some great opportunities in real estate right now. Unfortunately, there are going to be things that happen. And one of the things that I covered in that video was look at fixer uppers right now. You got time. You're supposed to be staying at home, so you might as well stay at home and renovate the inside of a house if that's a project you want to get into.
True story. I sent my husband, or he went to Lowe's to get something to fix in our house today, and I was like, grab me some more spray paint, and they're out. There's none of what I wanted. He's like, everyone's doing projects. I'm like, damn it.
And yet it's crazy.
Well, and Eric, I will say just my dad, our family actually flips houses. And what we're actually finding right now is that a lot of like the smaller to medium size companies that were coming in and doing the all cash offers, they can't do it. That a lot of the competition has gone. Unfortunately, they're either having to take a break or they've just had to pull out altogether. Yeah. So it is kind of one of those, if you can find the right property, a lot of the competition, it has dwindled out, that you're dealing with. I mean, my dad's been a broker or had his broker's license for, I want to say, over 40 years now. So he's seen all of the ups and downs. So he's just like, it is a good time if that's something that you're interested in, and you have the cash to invest in it. There's a lot of competition gone.
Yeah. And that's the truth. I mean, I was talking to a friend of mine the other night, and her dad is gobbling up properties right now in Arizona, just outside of Reno, and in Utah. And that brings its own challenges. But there's a ton of books on how to, what they call BRRRR properties, and I'm sure you've heard that term, Courtney. And especially in these different areas, there are still going to be people that maybe the bank is looking at and saying, I can't give you forbearance, or you've kind of screwed this up by not making payments for a while or whatever. And so they're and no matter what, even in good times, there's still people that run into financial problems and they still foreclose on it. Foreclosures don't go away completely; they're still there. And now, like you're saying, with some of the competition being gone, there is going to be opportunities to be gained there. So, but to the same point, some of those people that were dealing with cash offers, they had investors behind them, right? They had, a ton of people that were like, yeah, I'll throw $100,000 at this project or $100,000 at that project. And, then they would go in with this big chunk of money and buy a bunch of property. Well, those people right now are sitting on cash. They're sitting there and saying, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm waiting for the market to bottom out, and I'm going to buy into this and that and this and that. I did the same thing. I had a project come across my plate about a month ago. And when I was at a conference in February in Colorado, and I was talking to the guy who's running this project. I'm like, I can't wait for your next project. And as soon as he sent it to me, I'm like, sorry, dude, I'm not doing it because I'm sitting here, jumping in on some of these. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you right now. Because I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for opportunities. And I have, I jumped in on a bunch of some of the stocks I mentioned, and things like Delta and companies that I think are going to be here for a long time to come and are going to survive this. And, it's a rocky road for them, but it's a great buying opportunity because, they're 40% of what they were 2 months ago. So that's the challenge that is there in real estate. And so why, your dad is going to see a lot of opportunities. And for other people, if they were looking for a chance to do a reno, and here's the thing, if you take and you go and you buy a property that needs renovations right now, you do the renovations while you got to stay at home anyways. And 2 months from now, you're looking to rent it out. People will be like, well, but wait, isn't the rental market going to be crap? It's like, well, no, because anybody that's going to come to you with an application you're going to take somebody who's got a job, who's, all these different things. You're not going to take the person that is out of work and all this other stuff.
Right.
So you're going to be already past all that things for somebody that's going to start looking for a place in July or whatever, when you're done with that, done with that renovation. So the last one would be the highest risk, and that would be cryptocurrency. That's your long shot. I'm looking for home runs of all home runs to buy at. I don't even know what the price of the Bitcoin is right now. I can look it up real quick. Let's see here. What's the price of a Bitcoin right now? $8,800. So it's really funny. I'm going to tell you a funny story, because Ashley, you pulled up the video, the $1,200 stimulus video.
Yeah.
And when I did that video, the price of Bitcoin was $7,400, and it's now $8,800.
Wow.
So it wasn't a bad investment 2 weeks ago, and it's flat right now or whatever, but still it's going up. So a Bitcoin is, Michelle, to explain what it is it was invented by someone as basically an alternative currency, with the idea that eventually, the currencies of the world are either going to be devalued so far, or we're going to need a digital currency to replace it. And so it was invented, and essentially there were numbers, and they created these algorithms that people could essentially mine for these Bitcoins. And they would have these super powerful computers, or even big, huge databases of computers that were constantly doing these mathematical computations, trying to figure out what the numbers were that equal these Bitcoins. Now, Bitcoin is finite, but because it's been used now to start to buy certain things, all of a sudden it becomes and starts to have value. Now, it doesn't necessarily have anything that's backing it. Like, the US dollar, for example, is technically backed by the gold that's in Fort Knox, and you can kind of say it's backed by the land that's owned by the United States of America. And the other currencies around the world are very similar. So that's kind of where people get a little sketchy on Bitcoin. But either way, it's all kind of given a value because people give it a value. Just like, diamonds, if you do research on diamonds back in like the early 20th century and 19th century, diamonds had no value. They were just rocks. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember which diamond company back in the early 20th century, like 1920, 1930, decided we're going to create engagement rings out of these things and start to create value, and just shot the value of diamonds through the roof. And now all of a sudden there's a value to diamonds.
Or like tulips in the Netherlands back in, I don't even know when, but it was like a tulip bulb was worth more than like a home, because it was hard to get a hold, right? Where it's like the craziest thing. You go down to Trader Joe's and grab yourself a dozen for $3. Back in the day, you could buy a house with a tulip bulb.
Yeah, we just need that DeLorean and then just load it up with a bunch of tulips back in time, and we're rich.
See, Eric, you're totally my financial advisor.
Yes, my financial advice is to find Doc Brown, get that World Almanac, and go back in time and bet on some crazy Super Bowl pick.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me through my email, or any of your viewers can reach out to me, eric@biggerstacks.com. Happy to answer any questions, whether it be about any of these different subjects or whatever.
Time travel.
Yeah, we can talk about time travel. That's really one way we want to get into. We can talk about time travel.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for part 4. We are done talking about money for now, unless it's maybe spending money, my favorite thing to do. But yeah, if you have any questions, any other information, make sure that you comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like. I put Eric's contact information is in the description below as well. If you missed any parts of this series that we did talking about having a little bit of extra money, investing it, what do you do with it? Go back and check out parts 1, 2, and 3. Those links are below as well in the description, so you can get to them there. Thanks for tuning in. And I don't like to talk about it. Because I just feel like,
Ashley said it. What Ashley's saying is she's headed to Amazon.com right after this.
Right? If not already on.
I was checking.
Ashley's like, it's too stressful. The only thing that'll make this any better is that bag I've been eyeing.
I'm being good.